A fanatical anti-communist, Hess is heartbroken at Hitler's cynical pact with Stalin. Yet he fears a two-front war and is disturbed by visions of English children bombed by Germany's growing air fleet. Like Hitler, he dreams that Nordic England should be Nordic Germany's ally. Out of fear, disappointment, dream, comes a plan. He, Rudolf Hess, will take one of these planes, fly to Britain, talk with the king, and save Germany, save Hitler. CBS News correspondent Daniel Shore.
This is where Rudolf Hess practiced for his flight, the Messerschmitt factory's airstrip in Augsburg, Germany. Hess, a former flying officer, the rival of the World War I ace Hermann Goering, as the Nazis' leading air expert, is permitted by his friend Willy Messerschmitt to make some 20 flights in the newly developed Messerschmitt 110, a twin-engine, two-seater plane developed in that Messerschmitt factory behind me. It is this plane which will carry Hess on his fateful mission to Scotland.
Karl Heinz Pinch, Hess's adjutant, tells the story. On January 10th, 1941, Hess takes off, leaving a letter to be opened if he does not return in 3 hours. The hours pass. Pinch reads the letter. It tells of Hess's plan to fly to Britain. Then Hess does return, mechanical trouble. Pinch and others, sworn to silence, keep the incredible secret from the Nazi command for 4 months. May 10th, Hess has a new, hard-to-get leather flying suit. At home, he has had an unusually long visit with his 3-year-old son. Today is the day of his mission. He goes, he says, at the unexpressed wish of his Führer. Messerschmitt test pilot Helmut Kadden.
I was probably among the last to say goodbye to Rudolf Hess. The proof is in this picture. You see me, you see Hess. You see the plane. The tanks were filled. The plane was checked out. Hess contacted the weather station in Hamburg and prepared his flight plan, which didn't make much sense to us. The plane took off perfectly. No pilot could have handled the Messerschmitt 110 aircraft any better. Then Hess's adjutants got together in my office and sat around my desk. We waited to see if Hess would come back, but nothing happened. It grew dark, night came along. Then one adjutant put his hand in his pocket and took out a sealed envelope. He said, "Now I have an important duty. I have to carry this letter to the Führer."
Hess speeds north. A radio station plays a popular song over and over, a Hess request. He uses it now for navigation. In Berlin, the letter Hess's adjutant has delivered makes Hitler scream and diplomatic channels crackle. In Italy, Mussolini fears Hitler is betraying him. In Moscow, Stalin is certain Hitler is plotting with Winston Churchill. Joseph Goebbels writes, Hess brought us close to ruin with our allies. Hess's family, Pinch, Messerschmitt, Kadden, others are arrested. Hess is mad, Hitler tells the German people, to whom military conquest has so far brought only hardship. Now their perfect Nazi is gone. A Berlin taxi driver sums up a common feeling. We will win and win and win, he mutters, until we lose. Hess has memorized his route to Scotland thoroughly. North toward Norway, west, then south. I could have flown it in my sleep, he says. He hedge hops with great pleasure. He climbs, and as he shows in this sketch he made later for his son, parachutes. He lands just 12 miles from the home of the astonished man he hopes to see first, the Duke of Hamilton. The landing spot. The British welcome the new Me-110 as a first-rate intelligence find. Hess will insist on seeing the Duke of Hamilton because he believes only Churchill and his war party want to continue the war. If the Duke, whom Hess has seen competing in the Berlin Olympics in 1936, will take him to the king, Hess feels Churchill can be foiled. The first man he does see is David McLean, Anne McLean's mother.
It was a pleasure to do anything for us gentlemen, although he was a Jerry. He was a gentleman, for he didn't sit down when I took him in, till I told him. And after all, he was somebody's son.
From the McLean's house, Hess is taken to the Home Guard barracks in Busby, Scotland, to await the arrival of the Glasgow police. His only interest continues to be a meeting with the Duke of Hamilton. The Duke, a wing commander, comes from Turnhouse Airfield near Edinburgh. Hess announces, "I am Reichsminister Hess." The Duke does not recall meeting him, returns to his post, flies to London, where Churchill calls the story too fantastic to believe. A diplomat who knew Hess in Berlin, Sir Yvonne Kirkpatrick, goes to take a look. The Duke of Hamilton and Kirkpatrick see Hess here at Buchanan Castle near Loch Lomond, north of Glasgow. Kirkpatrick immediately identifies the prisoner as Rudolf Hess. While the Glasgow Record scents a story, the still secret prisoner harangues his visitors all night from copious notes. Hess offers peace, but Churchill must go. Meanwhile, Record reporters show David McLean a photograph of Hess, whom McLean identifies as the man who parachuted into his field. The story is out. Hess is moved to Aldershot. Churchill, embarrassed that anyone would think he would deal with Hess, secretly sends his Lord Chancellor, Viscount Simon, to pump the prisoner. Hess tells him Britain can rule the seas, Germany can rule Europe. Hess is interviewed daily in this room. In Berlin, Hitler fears Hess will reveal his plan to attack Russia. When the attack does come, Hess says wanly, "They've done it after all." If he came to prevent a two-front war, he has failed. His British Army psychiatrist, Dr. Henry V. Dix.
My very first examination of him made me feel that he was a paranoid schizophrenic. That's to say, a man suffering from a severe and usually irreversible form of insanity. But as I got to know him better, I saw that this was only part of him, that there was a very large part of his personality functioning very adequately, not invaded by his delusions, and that he could, for quite lengthy periods, snap out of his delusional system and either act normally or petulantly or childishly, but certainly not psychotically or insanely. When he was persecuted, then he was very aloof, distant. His eyes were stony. He stared at you. Sometimes he shouted out at you, "You know I'm being poisoned," and so on. He would, for example, have to have a food taster. He would not eat alone. He would have to have one of the duty officers eat and usually begin the eating. He would change plates with us if we were all sitting down to a meal, so that the plate which was served him would not be the one he would have to eat. And he started reading and quoting that kind of masochistic poetry which Germans in their more romantic moments are very fond of quoting, Goethe and so on, about relentless destiny and how we must all complete our circle. Anyway, we then began to think very seriously of an attempted suicide. He said he couldn't sleep, and would I please come and see him in the middle of the night. For this purpose, the grill, behind which he was, had to be opened by the sergeant on duty at the grill, and the commissioned duty officer who sat outside his door had to step aside, and out he came, rushing at me. I rather felt that he was going to attack me as the author of all his poisoning, but instead he pushed me aside, being very much larger than myself, and took a flying leap over the banister of the landing, and landed on part of the rail and smashed one of his thighs, and that's all the damage he suffered.
Mainduf Court Hospital, South Wales. Hess is now more a patient than a prisoner. Sometimes lucid, sometimes not. He develops amnesia. Later, he writes his wife, "Something pleasant. My memory has returned." But he believes German soldiers are being hypnotized from afar by the Jews. In Germany, Willy Messerschmitt, defending himself for letting Hess take a plane, says, "How was I to know one so high in the Reich could be crazy?" Whether Rudolf Hess is legally insane will plague the Nuremberg trials to come.